all comes down to this. Two of the biggest favorites in the tournament colliding in the championship match. United States, El Salvador, here in the 2021 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship Final. Joe Malfa here with you for today's action. We've seen rain so far in Alajuelense, Costa Rica in the third place game, but right now, no rain coming down. Chance for it throughout the game. We'll see if it becomes an issue. But United States, El Salvador, this should be a great one. Two teams that all tournament long have looked to be the class of the tournament. To see the final bracket, all that's waiting is the team that is set to lift the trophy. We know who gets the bronze, it's Guatemala. Now just determining which of these two teams, United States and El Salvador, earn gold and which earn silver. Both are already heading to the World Cup, so the first objective of this tournament complete for each of these teams. Now the second objective, earning the trophy here in Alajuelense. These teams have a history in the knockout stages, and it's gotten back and forth. Going back to 2009, El Salvador won 5-3 in the semifinal. In the 2013 championship game, the United States won 5-4 in extra time. In 2015, El Salvador won 5-2 in the third place game. And then last tournament, 2019, the United States beat El Salvador 5-4 in penalty kicks in the semifinal. And here they are colliding in the championship match. Might have been sooner had the United States not been upset against Costa Rica in the final group stage match. That would have put the United States and El Salvador on the same side of the bracket. But we get the match in the final instead. El Salvador got here with relative ease. They were not tested much at all the whole tournament. In the group stage, totally dominant. A goal differential of plus 25 running through Guatemala, Bahamas, and Dominican Republic. Then, in the knockout stages, El Salvador beat Trinidad and Tobago 9-2. And then their closest game of the tournament, yes, closest, a 4-goal win against Guatemala. When your closest game of the tournament is a 4-goal win, you know you've been dominant. On the flip side for the United States, they ran through their first two games pretty easily of the group stage against Turks and Caicos and Trinidad and Tobago. They ran into some trouble against Costa Rica, losing 5-4 against the host nation in the last game of the group stage. Then their path to the title game, a little bit trickier. A close 4-3 win over Guatemala in a game that went back and forth before Gabe Silvera hit a perfect bicycle kick in the final 3 minutes to win that one. And then the big one for the United States. They finally got over the hump for them. That was Mexico. Before yesterday, the United States was 0-4 in the knockout phase against Mexico. They flipped the script yesterday, get the win 5-2, and here we are. United States, El Salvador, set to battle for the trophy. Individual talent in this game, team talent in this game. Two goalkeepers that have been tremendous all tournament long. Chris Toth for the United States, Eliodoro Portillo for El Salvador. A look at what they're playing for here in the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. Teams are just about set to process out onto the field. The all-time leading goal scorer in this tournament, Frankie Velasquez with 56 goals for El Salvador. He's the Golden Boot leader with 11. His teammate, Ruben Batres, sixth all-time with 31 goals. He has 10 in this tournament. The U.S. will have their hands full with those two guys. But they have plenty of talent in their own right. Led by Nick Pereira, the fourth leading goal scorer all-time with 40. He's got 4 in this tournament. Teams walk past the trophy. Some of the players exchanging glances, taking a look at that piece of silverware. All on the line in just a few moments on the sand in Alajuela. I'll step aside for a moment as the teams hear their national anthems played and rejoin you for the action. United States, El Salvador championship game here in the 2021 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship.
Damas y caballeros, les solicitamos por favor ponerse de pie para escuchar los himnos nacionales de los Estados Unidos, seguido del himno nacional de El Salvador. Damas y caballeros, para el siguiente encuentro, partido final del campeonato Concacaf Beach Soccer 2021.
Here we go. United States in the blue, El Salvador in the white. Captains meeting for the coin toss. Nick Pereira for the United States, Eliodoro Portillo for El Salvador. When these teams met in the semifinal back in 2019, it was 3-3, and then in penalties, the United States got past El Salvador. Now meeting in the final 2 years later. We'll look at the starting lineups for the squads, beginning with the United States. Chris Toth in goal, Jason Santos, Nicolas Pereira, Nick Pereira, and Alessandro Canale in front for the head coach, Francis Farmeroff, who knows a thing or two about lifting the trophy here in Costa Rica. More on that in a second. For El Salvador, Eliodoro Portillo, the captain in goal, Eber Ramos, Exxon Perdomo, Elmer Robles, and Ruben Batres, the starters for Rudis Gonzalez. Not noted there in the starting lineup, Frankie Velasquez, the team's leading scorer, the Golden Boot race leader at the moment with 11. But he will factor in plenty. These teams cycle through players throughout the match. Two very deep squads. Every single outfield player for the United States has a goal. All but one outfield player has a goal for El Salvador. Even the goalkeepers have a couple each. 2 for Toth of the United States, 3 for Portillo of El Salvador. Farmeroff, the head coach of the United States, was the team captain and MVP when the United States lifted the trophy in the last tournament that was hosted by Costa Rica back in 2006. Now looking for the same result this time as the head coach of the Americans. Pereira getting the area set for the kickoff. Santos will chip it up to him. There's the whistle. We're underway. Pereira out wide on the kickoff. Back for Santos, spikes it into the ground. Velasquez leads the way for El Salvador with 11, followed by Batres with 10. And then for the United States, Gabe Silveira leads the way with 6. Alessandro Canale in second with 5. The leading goal scorers. That one stays in. Toth tried to grab it. It was knocked away. Last off of the goalkeeper.
Higher, Nico. Higher, Nico. We got it here. Higher. Higher. Go higher. Higher. It's going to the goalie. Higher.
Tight here, Nick. Tight here. Sancho, come. Watch the bike.
Go ahead. Go ahead. First one.
Portillo, always a threat to take a shot himself, puts it into the protective netting. When these teams met in that semifinal 2 years ago, a lot of the names you'll be hearing today factored into the result. Pereira, Canale each had a goal for the United States. Exxon Perdomo had a hat trick for El Salvador. He won the Young Player of the Tournament Award in 2019. Number 5 there in the middle in white for El Salvador. He's got another few goals this tournament, 5 again.
Sancho, stay. Sancho, left. Left.
Touched away by Robles. Under pressure from Santos. Ramos sends it the other way. Toth can't handle it initially, but he grabs it. The big goalkeeper for the United States out of California, 31 years old, 5th consecutive Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship for him. Pereira skims it to goal. Portillo, the long toss the other way, off the crossbar on the diving header. Perdomo nearly opened the scoring in style. Portillo, aggressive, makes the grab. Robles, blocked on the way in by Canale. El Salvador playing without Agustin Ruiz. He was stretchered off after the second group match for El Salvador. Entered this tournament as the leading scorer all time in the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. In front, Toth makes the stop. Tackle in the box and a penalty given. El Salvador a chance on the penalty kick. 9:26 remaining in the first period. It's Elmer Robles who will set it up as the rain now begins to fall in Alajuela. We had a brief respite from the rain between matches. It's starting to come down again. And a chance for El Salvador to open the scoring again, as they have in each of their matches throughout the tournament. It's Robles against Toth. Robles scores the opener for El Salvador. Number 4 of the tournament for Elmer Robles as the rain picks up. We saw the rain pick up in the first period of the third place match, and while it was coming down, neither team did a lot. They were playing very conservative. We'll see how that impacts this game. Wind picking up as well. Pouring now. Pereira out to Canale. Canale to the end line. Puts it in front. Takes a deflection. Corner coming. Clock stops for a moment as they were looking for a ball. Got one. Canale places it. Looking for the big target, Pereira. Quickly the other way for El Salvador. Out to Perdomo, fronted by Canale. All the way back to Portillo. El Salvador so secure in possession all tournament long. Very confident playing around the back from left to right between defenders. With Portillo getting in the action as well. In front off the crossbar again. Portillo sent it down. And it was Perdomo for the second time hitting the crossbar. Robles has it blocked.
Let's go.
All El Salvador early on. A goal on a penalty. A couple of crossbars hit.
Come, Sancho.
The United States looking to avoid a second loss in a championship game in a Concacaf final in a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks ago, they lost in the championship match of the futsal championship tournament against Costa Rica. Now down 1-0 early on in the beach soccer championship final against El Salvador. The United States will be heading to both World Cups this summer. Beach Soccer World Cup takes place in August in Moscow. The Futsal World Cup in September in Lithuania. U.S. on the way to both. Guatemala, Panama, Costa Rica, the other teams going in futsal. El Salvador, the only other team going in beach soccer. Just the two teams in the final qualify for the World Cup. Herrera sends it well wide on the bicycle attempt. Summer of soccer continues here in Concacaf, with the Gold Cup serving as the exclamation point from July into August.
Hey, you go right side, right there.
5 minutes into the first. The lone goal belongs to Robles on a penalty kick.
Good. Stay with go, left.
Back in front, another chance sent over the bar by Perdomo, who's been lively early on. 26-year-old, as I mentioned before, was the young player of the tournament. Won that award 2 years ago. Goff out to Silvera. That takes a deflection, corner coming. Silvera scored so far what is probably the most important goal of the tournament for the United States. Late bicycle kick against Panama to lift them through to the semifinal. They had a much easier time with Mexico in the semifinal than they did in the quarters with Panama. Mondragon going at it a bit with Perdomo. All the way across to the other side. Ramos gets it. Back again to Portillo. Sends it down into the hands of Toth. Rain steadying a bit. Over halfway through the first period. Battling for it, Albistón against Velasquez. And Portillo out to grab it. Flicked on to Velasquez, tournament's leading scorer. In space, Velasquez across, Perdomo, the tap in. Brilliant play from El Salvador. A 2-0 lead. Exxon Perdomo has been so close for so much of the period. Hit the crossbar twice. And this time, a very easy tap in. Takes a touch, makes sure he has it set up right with the big toe into the back of the net. Toth, no chance to get across. United States needs a response. Albistón, Mondragon, out to Silvera, blocked. El Salvador has not played a close game the whole tournament. Silvera ranging in, grabbed by Portillo. And a yellow card being shown to Silvera. Free kick coming for El Salvador. Take another look. Silvera was pleading his case that Portillo just rocked the ball back into him, but you can see on the replay, Silvera did give it a little nudge with the knee. Looking on through the rain as Portillo is being tended to. Joe Malfa here with you in the 2021 Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship Final. Scoring was opened by Elmer Robles on a penalty kick, and then a tap-in for Exxon Perdomo on the assist by Frankie Velasquez. Velasquez, as the Golden Boot leader at the moment with 11 goals, thought he might just take the shot on his own. but a wise decision to pass it across to a wide open Exxon Perdomo. 2 crossbars in the early stages of the period, and then he finally gets his goal.
Arbitro. Hey, it's over there. It's a little that way. Hey, it's un poquito.
Tiro libre a favor de la selección de El Salvador. Se prepara con el número 12, el capitán, el Portillo.
Free kick coming for Portillo, setting up for a long run-up. If this tournament has been any indication so far, he's taking a shot. He does. Never afraid to take one. He's got 3 goals. His 3 goals are good enough to be more than 3 outfield players for El Salvador, tied with 2 others. A threat from the back. Eliodoro Portillo, the captain for El Salvador as well. Fifth time these teams are meeting beyond the group stage in this tournament's history. The first 4 matches were split down the middle, 2 aside. Touched by Chavez into space. Shot blocked, coming in from Wilfredo Dilbert. And just sent down to Toth. El Salvador won the first knockout stage meeting back in 09, 5-3 in the semifinal. The United States won in the championship game of 2013 in extra time. El Salvador won the 3rd place game in 2015, and the United States advanced past El Salvador in the semifinal of 2019 on penalty kicks. All the way across to Dilbert. Hops up on him off his chest, and now the other way, Urbina. Chavez takes it away. Silvera gives it back to Toth. Toth, a threat to shoot at all times as well. He's got 2 goals this tournament. Not just Portillo, who's got a flair for the offense. Oh, what a poor play from Toth. Wide open goal for Urbina. 3-0 El Salvador on a catastrophic mistake at the back. Toth pressed out for it, didn't come up with it. And Urbina had an empty net, his 5th of the tournament. Disastrous for the Americans. The U.S. on the precipice now. They have to respond, otherwise this could go the way El Salvador's previous matches have gone. They've not played a single close game. The closest was their semifinal 4-goal victory against Guatemala. 6-2, they won that one. Their next closest game was 7-1 against Guatemala in the group stage. Outside of that, everything else was a victory by 7 goals or more. El Salvador has been the class of the tournament, without a doubt. And now up 3-0 with 3 minutes to go in the first period on the United States. Defense has been the calling card for the Americans. Very stout all tournament long. But 2 breakdowns and a penalty kick have led the way for El Salvador. Toth out wide, in front, bounces. Silvera battles, trying to chip it up for a bike. Takes him to the sideline. Out for an El Salvador throw. Portillo, space, the shot over the bar. How will the U.S. respond to the adversity? The next goal, vital. If they go down 4-0, that would be catastrophic. Silvera ensures that doesn't happen. Santos puts it away. Santos cleans it up. I thought Silvera had it initially, the way it bounced by the goal, but Santos taps it in. 3-1 El Salvador. Silvera starts it.
Watch off the ground.
Right there from the vantage point. My mistake, I thought it hit off the tension cord in the net, but it was stopped. And then Santos comes flying in. The response the U.S. needed here at the end of the first period.
Well done, Nick. Hey, you're close. Gunner. Gunner. Get out, Nico. Hammer. Right here. Face the field. Face the field. Look at your hip.
In front, off the crossbar. Robles with the shot off the crossbar. 90 seconds to go in the first period. Before the U.S. got the goal, I was just starting to say how disastrous it would be. They go down 4-0. That next goal, so important. Give them some momentum back, a 2-goal game, but now a giveaway. Put wide. Pereira, a rare mistake for the captain of the United States. Toth. Out to Pereira. Looking across for Rezende. Instead it's Perdomo. Santos, the goal scorer for the U.S. Taps it further back, and now to Portillo. 40 seconds to go in the period. Pereira, long toss to Santos. Pereira has his pocket picked. Toth makes the stop on Melvin Gonzalez. The lone outfield player for El Salvador without a goal nearly had it for the first time in the tournament. Pereira, the volley is blocked. Batres chases it, deflects it. Batres against Toth, still loose. Batres takes some space, taken down, still with it. Hard work paying off for Ruben Batres. Now the referee from the far side coming in, waving it off. Did the clock expire? The horn didn't sound, but the referee was keeping an eye on the clock. The air horn had not yet sounded. Referee was keeping an eye on the clock, and I don't think it will count. I don't believe Batres beat the clock. And that's the way it seems. The United States catch a break. Still a 3-1 scoreline as we head into the second period. Action-packed first period. Exxon Perdomo, lively for El Salvador. Hit the crossbar a couple of times, would eventually get on the score sheet. Santos commits the penalty. Scoring was opened by Elmer Robles on the penalty kick. 1-0 El Salvador. That came 2.5 minutes into the game. For Robles, it was his 4th of the tournament. And El Salvador would go on to net 2 more before the U.S. would get one back. That was the second crossbar hit by Perdomo. Here Velasquez battles through, and Perdomo finally gets that goal that he was working so hard for. Made it 2-0 El Salvador. For Perdomo, his 6th goal of the tournament. Won the Young Player of the Tournament award back in 2019. It was then 3-0 El Salvador, and here Santos gets one back. Silvera's shot was stopped by a diving Portillo, and the header put in by Santos. 3-1 as we head to period number 2.
Watch the 9 out wide. Nico.
El Salvador in the white, going from left to right, begins in possession with the kickoff. 3-1 lead. Chipped out, shot blocked by Pereira. Batres takes it off the post. Took a deflection off the outside of the leg of Pereira.
One forward step. Yep.
Batres thought he had a goal at the end of the first.
Tie.
The clock had expired. Batres in front. Shot blocked by Perdomo. Portillo in space. Pereira pressures. Shipped over to Ramos. Headed down to Batres, but too far out in front. Pereira just gives it back. Tough. Out wide. Santos. Forward to Pereira. Turning the big man off the crossbar. How many times have each of these teams hit the crossbar already? Just 1 minute into the second period. That one stopped by Portillo, not too secure about it. And out for a corner.
Hey, te me paraste enfrente ahí. Ojo con el primero también. No te vaya a ganar allá el primero.
Canale will take the corner.
Ojo. Ojo, segundo.
And he find the target man, Pereira. Headed away by Robles. Santos to strike, and it's in! United States within a goal. It's Santos again. Just when it seemed like it was slipping away from them, down 3-0. Santos comes up with a pair. Another look at the volley. Took a deflection on the way in off of Iber Ramos.
Nico, you too, little left.
Not sure if Portillo would have stopped it anyway, but certainly helped the United States case. 3-2. Infraction on the kickoff. They'll do it again.
I know, but hey, Santos, if it goes there, it's your responsibility to cover it.
How dominant El Salvador has been in each of their first few matches. They would have gone up 4-0. It would have been a long road back for the U.S. They needed that goal to boost their confidence, gain some momentum. Santos diving header at the back post, and now early in the second period after that goal late in the first, Santos on the strike from distance. He had 1 goal in the tournament coming in. He's got 2 so far today, and it's 3-2 El Salvador. Out for Velasquez, puts it wide. Santos, the 32-year-old for the United States, making his 4th consecutive tournament appearance. He's got World Cup experience as well. Velasquez looking to turn. Santos working on a hat trick. Back for Toth. Toth will take the strike into the hands of Portillo. All the way down. Perdomo. Oh, what a finish! Exxon Perdomo over his head into the top corner. El Salvador 4, United States 2. Pure class from Exxon Perdomo. Gets it past Santos, past Toth, into the side netting. United States back down 2. Santos for Pereira. Near side for Pereira, and it's possession wasted.
In between, here's one behind your left. Hey.
Back for Toth. 3 minutes into the period. 2 goals for Exxon Perdomo. 1 for Elmer Robles. 1 for Jason Urbina. That's the 4 for El Salvador. Both for the United States, belonging to the same guy, Santos. Velasquez puts it wide. Dolph raised his hand to call for a handball or something, and Velasquez got the shot off in time. Almost caught the keeper mid-complaint. Fortunate for the U.S., it goes wide. Knotted down for Pereira, taken by Velasquez. 3-on-1 for El Salvador. Velasquez in the middle, stopped by Toth. What a big save from the keeper. He has to make another, but he can't come up with it. Another goal for Perdomo. A hat trick for the 2nd time in a row against the U.S. He had 3 goals in the semifinal back in 19. He's got 3 today. What a performance again for Perdomo against the U.S. From 3-0 El Salvador to 3-2 as the U.S. close the distance. But now El Salvador widens the gap, back to a 3-goal lead. Pereira. Albistón. Same situation as it was earlier now for the U.S. They need that next goal. They cannot afford to go down 4. Sand in the eye for Albistón. Exxon Perdomo came into this game with 5 goals in the tournament, now all the way up to 8. That has him as the 3rd leading scorer in the tournament, passing Leslie St. Fleur, who had 7. The top 3 scorers now in this tournament, all on El Salvador. Velasquez with 11, Batres with 10, and now Perdomo with 8. Pereira and Robles collide, whistle blows. They both made contact. I'm not sure who's getting the card or which way the foul went here. Now the late point from the official, you see the surprise on the face of the American players. And Pereira will get a yellow card as well. Take another look. He'll be the judge. Look clean, just both guys going at it. Didn't think either guy committed a foul. They just happened to bang knees as they went for the ball. You see the players for both teams were just standing around waiting for the referee to point one way or the other. Nobody was sure which way that was going, but in the end it leaves a free kick for El Salvador. A chance to go up 4 goals. And with the way they've looked all tournament, it'll be a long road back for the U.S. Robles, the shot saved by Toth. A massive one to keep it a 3-goal deficit for the time being. Chipped in, Batres over the bar. Slight touch from Toth, another corner coming. In the middle, and flicked just wide by Batres. Long toss from Toth. Out for an American throw, 7 to go in the period. Down 3 goals. In front towards Silvera. Portillo grabs it.
Dave, right here.
Wide for Ramos. Silvera takes it. Long way forward for Pereira. Pereira, the bike! It's wide. Pereira unhappy with the officiating. He thought that the goalkeeper, Portillo, got a touch to him, and it should have been a penalty kick. Corner for the U.S. Albiston sends it in all the way across. Batres takes it. Batres creates some space all the way across for Ramos. Portillo. Halfway through the second period, halfway through the game. 5-2 El Salvador. A goal each for Elmer Robles and Jason Urbina. A hat trick for Exxon Perdomo. Second tournament in a row in which he scored a hat trick against the United States. And he still has a lot of time remaining in this one to get more. All the way back for Portillo. El Salvador does this so well. Just passing it around, waiting for that opportunity to go forward and strike. Chavez knocks it out for a throw. Batres takes it quickly. The other way, the Americans. Albiston flanked by Pereira and Chavez. He uses Pereira, pivoting. Bicycle kick is blocked. Out for an American throw right next to the corner flag. Chavez takes it. Flicked on by Robles. Stays in. Pereira to Silvera. And back for Toth. Toth tips it back for Silvera. The strike over the bar. Timed it well as the ball was coming down. Got the top spin, but couldn't force it to spin enough underneath the bar, just over. You see behind the American goal, the Guatemalan players looking on. They'll be joining the trophy ceremony at the conclusion of this one for their bronze medals after their win against Mexico. Chavez surges in, gets it, spinning Silvera, taking away Robles. Chipped up to himself, now Velasquez. Velasquez lays it off, oh, saved off the line. Wilfredo Dilbert. Silvera claiming it took a deflection. Possession remains with El Salvador. All the way down to the corner and given away. Toth chips it out wide. Chavez taken down, no call. Velasquez in space. Dilbert slides in. Toth swipes it away from Velasquez. Long toss. Mondragon heads it, punched away by Portillo. And Mondragon thought it should have been a penalty. Expresses his displeasure to the referee on the far side. Hustles back to win it though. Before it's poked back to the keeper by Ramirez. Canale, a touch to it. Toth saves it off the band. 2:45 to go in the second. United States trailing again by 3. Canale, he gets one back. 2-goal deficit now. Alessandro Canale strikes. Goal number 6 of the tournament, now tied for the team lead. What a first touch. Finesse on the goal, hopped up off the sand and in.
Hey, he's hitting it. Fredo, you got to hold. Fredo, you step. Sancho, hold.
The U.S. has done well to not let this game at any point get to a 4-goal deficit. Batres deflected out for a corner. They trailed 3-0. They made it 3-2. They trailed 5-2, and they get that all-important next goal to make it 5-3 as the rain starts coming down again with some steadiness in Alajuela. Dome Alpha here with you for the 2020 Beach Soccer Championship Final in Concacaf. Perdomo with 3 goals, chips this one in, saves it off the line, or does he? The whistle comes in, it was just over the line in the air. The 31-year-old Alessandro Canale able to cut into that lead. His 5th consecutive appearance in this tournament in the United States. 5th tournament in a row, I should say. He's appeared in every match in this tournament as well, to be clear on that. And a foul out on the wing. Mondragon called for it. 1:45 to go in the period. And Andres Cruz is going to have a free kick. Two goals in the tournament for Andres Cruz. The U.S. was able to stop the run of El Salvador with a goal a couple moments ago. Cruz to restore a 3-goal lead. It's stopped by Toth. Tossed in towards Batres. Gilbert clears. Portillo just gets it over the foot of Canale. Batres over the bar. Toth might have gotten a touch to it. He did. They're setting up to defend a corner. All the way back for Portillo. 2-goal game. A minute to go in the second period. El Salvador seeking their 2nd championship ever in the history of this tournament. The United States with 2, looking for a 3rd. El Salvador, it would be their 1st since 2009. The U.S., it would be their 1st since 2013. Shouts for handball, no call. Referee waves it off immediately. Shot blocked as Batres pressed forward. Canale back to Toth. Launch forward. Batres sends it the other way. 1-on-1. Toth off his chest, trickling towards the line. 6-3 El Salvador. It's Exxon Perdomo again. His 4th goal of the day. He was all alone. 1-on-1 with Toth. Off the chest as Toth was turning. More off the shoulder, you can see there. And Perdomo has 4. El Salvador as a whole has 6. United States back down 3 goals. Running out of time in the second period. United States looking to avoid a 2nd loss in a championship game here in the month of May in Concacaf competition. Lost in the futsal final against Costa Rica. Now here in Costa Rica, trailing El Salvador 6-3. Canale to Resende, 5 seconds to go. Resende turning, 2 seconds to go. Clock will expire in the period. 3-goal lead for El Salvador as we head to period number 3 to decide things in the championship match. made it 5-3 as the U.S. continued to avoid falling down by 4 goals. 3 is the biggest lead El Salvador has had at 3-0 and 5-2, and now 6-3. Perdomo got one more before the period ended, and it's a 6-3 game for El Salvador as we're set to begin period 3. Back in a moment. Ready to begin period 3. Joe Malfa here with you in the title game. El Salvador 6, United States 3. The Americans from left to right in the Navy jerseys begin with the kick. Out to Canale. In front, Silvera. What a start to period 3 for the Americans. 6 seconds in, they make it 6-4. Silvera gets his 7th of the tournament. Waves to the bench. Get the spirits up and get them back into this. Down just 2 goals.
Dale, equipo, no baja, hombre, no baja, dale.
Ensuing kickoff for El Salvador. Ramos strikes it, it's wide. U.S. claiming it did not take a touch off a player, but off of a mound in the sand. Referees see it differently. Corner coming for El Salvador. In front, diving header, turned aside. Foul goes against El Salvador. Batres called for it. Pereira will take it. Edge of his own penalty area. Pereira strikes it well high. Portillo chips it up out wide for Ramos, and back again to the keeper. El Salvador has done this so well throughout the tournament, especially in the 3rd period. Biding some time, finding those opportunities, but a giveaway now for Silvera. In the middle, off the sand, Portillo has to deal with a tough hop. Back to the keeper. Batres chests it down. Pereira takes it away for Silvera. Looking across to Pereira. Now it's Pereira. Has Pereira, unable to feed it through. Back for Portillo. Minute and a half gone in the 3rd period. Exxon Perdomo, 4 goals already. That one knocked away. Velasquez stumbles over the ball, regains his footing. Chips it towards the back post, and it's just high. No goals yet today for Velasquez. Currently leading the Golden Boot race with 11, followed by teammate Ruben Batres with 10. And Exxon Perdomo has himself in the conversation with his 4 goals today. That put him at 9 overall. Top 3 scorers in the tournament, all with El Salvador. Correa down for Albie Stone, it's blocked. 9:43 to go in the 3rd. El Salvador looking for a 2nd championship. They've been so dominant throughout the years in this tournament. It's a surprise they've only won it once. Albie Stone turning. Albie Stone firing, but it's blocked by a sliding Ramos. As soon as it left his foot, Albie Stone never even got through to Portillo. El Salvador has finished no worse than third every time they've ever been in this tournament. They missed the first edition back in '06, but since then, the next 7 editions plus this one, never finishing worse than third. All the way across to Robles, chipping it up, getting on his bike, and it's blocked. El Salvador first appeared, like I said, in 2008. They made 4 consecutive appearances in the finals. They lost 3 of them. 2 of the losses came against Mexico, 1 of them against the United States. Their win came against Costa Rica in '09. And in the 3 tournaments since then, they've won the 3rd place match. Now here again, staring down a title. Their win percentage overall through group stage matches and knockout stage matches is second to only Mexico. All the way across and cleared away by Albie Stone. Chavez sends it in the right direction now. Pereira was taken down. Free kick.
Tiro libre a favor de la selección de los Estados Unidos. Camiseta número 7, Nick Pereira. El capitán se prepara para cobrar el tiro libre en sus pies a 8 minutos. La oportunidad de acortar distancia. Salvador 6.
Pereira scored when these teams met in the semifinal of 2019. Pereira, the run up, the strike, the save by Portillo. Struck well and dipping at the end. Tough one for the keeper to deal with. 4 minutes into the 3rd period. Robles sends it forward. Back the other way. Pereira flicked on. Portillo the grab. Under 8 to go. 2-goal game. Santos has 2 for the U.S. Canale and Silvera each have 1. Ramirez loses it to Chavez. Those 2 still battling for it. Santos gets involved. Chavez fighting. Santos with it. Out for an American throw. 6 goals for El Salvador, 1 each for Urbina and Robles, 4 for Exxon Perdomo. Off to Pereira. Takes a deflection out for an American corner. Steady reigns again in Alajuela. It's been so beautiful all tournament long, with the rain coming down on the last day. Pereira, the strike saved off the line. Pereira thought it was in. Referee says no. Batres the other way, puts it wide. 6:30 to go in the period. U.S. so close, bringing it back within 1. Headed on. Out for an American throw. Halfway through the 3rd period. Mondragon in space. Knocked away from behind by Ramos, and Portillo grabs it. Long toss to the corner. Batres can't keep it in. Albie Stone. Knocked out for a throw. Toss from Albie Stone. Silvera unable to turn around with it. Santos puts a foot in. Late call from the official.
Hey, are you kidding me?
Batres went down. Batres sold it well, and he earns a free kick. From just beyond midfield, Ruben Batres, 10 goals in the tournament. A chance to put El Salvador back up 3 goals. Ruben Batres puts it wide. Dilbert had 2 goals yesterday for the Americans. Down for Santos, has 2 goals today for the U.S. Portillo way out of the goal. Batres fighting for it, so is Dilbert. Working through, back to Portillo. Under 5 to play. Just kept in by Robles. All the way across, it stays in. Santos deflects it out for a throw.
You got it, Chris. Hey.
Down for Perdomo. 4 goals already. 2019 Young Player of the Tournament Award winner. Leading the way for El Salvador today. He has as many goals as the Americans have as a team in this one. Pereira tried to snake it into Dilbert.
Rotate left.
4 to go in the third. We've seen 1 2-goal comeback this late in the tournament already. It was Mexico against the Bahamas. The Americans have it in them. Canale, Pereira, Portillo the grab. Long toss out. Andres Cruz battling Canale. Silvera digs it out. Silvera all the way back for Toth. Pereira hops over a guy. In front, saved by Portillo on Pereira. And the keeper does well to grab it out there on the elastic band. Toss from Toth. The captain Pereira. Looking for Canale, too far away from him. Under 3 to play. Toth takes a shot. El Salvador in no hurry. We'll see if they start doing what they've been doing so well all tournament long. Just feeding it around the back from Ramos to Portillo, out to the left side. It's given away. Unable to settle into that possession just yet. Silvera the strike, in front save Portillo. Batres the other way. Pereira and Silvera combining to defend. Batres comes away with it, the shot is blocked.
Hey, you gotta go extra. You gotta play high. Hey.
Behind the play, Portillo is down.
Extra man. Hey. Nick, come here.
After Portillo gets the care he needs, 2:14 to go in the third period. A 2-goal lead for El Salvador. Looking for their second ever championship here in this tournament. The last came in 2009.
Salimos por ahí, por favor, lo más cercano.
Teams have alternated wins against each other in the knockout stage. El Salvador in 09, United States in 13, El Salvador in 15, United States in 19. Now a chance for El Salvador to keep that pattern going and earn a trophy in the process. 2 minutes to go. Pereira mishits it. Nodded back to Portillo. Long toss in the corner. Haven't seen much of Velasquez in this third period. But El Salvador not needing a goal, just needing to defend. Down for Pereira, 90 seconds to play. United States down 2. They have to hurry. In front, all the way across, Silvera. Unable to find an alley to take the shot. Toth into the attack, Silvera gives it away. El Salvador starting to sense that this one might be in hand. A minute to play, a 2-goal lead. Just have to hold on for 60 more seconds. Toth. United States on the other side have to hurry. Pereira, the shot blocked by Batres. Everybody behind the ball, defending with all they've got now, El Salvador. Pereira positions the corner, takes it quickly, backside. Canale, saved by Portillo. Long toss out again. Robles keeps it in. Just keeping it on the sideline, killing some of that clock. Pereira takes it, cleared the other way, saved off the line with a great kick by Silvera. But it's going to be too little too late, whatever the U.S. can muster up. They've scored the last goal in this one, but ever since they made it 6-4, couple of chances, none converted. The clock is going to read triple zeros. El Salvador has their second ever beach soccer championship here in Concacaf, your 2021 champions. They've been so close so many times to getting that second trophy. 3 times the runners-up, 3 times the third-place finishers. Their other trophy came in 09, and now in 2021, champions again here in the Concacaf Beach Soccer Championship. What a tournament it was, and what a winner we have. Dominant the whole way, El Salvador. Outclassing opponent after opponent. Jumped out to a quick 3-0 lead today. It got as close as 3-2, but then never again after that was it a 1-goal game. What a performance all tournament long from your champions in 2021, El Salvador. Trophy presentation is set to begin in about 5 minutes. Guatemala will receive their bronze medals, United States the silver, and El Salvador will get to lift the trophy.
Damas y caballeros, por favor, démosle la bienvenida al escenario a los dignatarios de Concacaf, Rodolfo Villalobos, vicepresidente de Concacaf y presidente de la Federación Costarricense de Fútbol. Carlos Cordeiro, miembro del Consejo de Concacaf. Hugo Carrillo, presidente de la Federación Salvadoreña de Fútbol. Y Cindy Parlow, presidenta de la Federación de Fútbol de los Estados Unidos. Continuamos con la presentación del premio a la revelación juvenil del campeonato de Beach Soccer Concacaf 2021. La revelación juvenil presentada por Scotiabank es para Antonio Chávez de la Selección Nacional de los Estados Unidos. Felicidades para el jugador Antonio Chávez.
Award presentations now in Alajuela. The young player of the tournament goes to Antonio Chavez of the United States. He had one goal in the tournament, but an instrumental piece defensively, so tenacious for the Americans. Saw him flying in a lot today on the defensive end. Tough task against a very potent El Salvador attack.
Es momento de premiar al mejor portero del campeonato de Concacaf Beach Soccer 2021. El premio al mejor portero es presentado por
Eliodoro
Al State.
Portillo
Recibe
earns the
Eliodoro
goalkeeper of the
Portillo
tournament
de la
award.
Selección del Salvador.
He had 3 goals himself, but did plenty more work with stopping the shots. His team never conceded more than 4 goals in a single game in
Felicidades
this
al mejor
tournament.
portero Eliodoro Portillo.
The captain for El Salvador, well-earned award, Golden Glove winner.
Ahora, el goleador del torneo recibirá el premio al máximo goleador con 11 goles. El máximo
And here
goleador
is
del
your
campeonato
Golden
Beach
Boot
Soccer
winner,
Concacaf
Frankie
2021
Velasquez,
es para
number 11
Francisco
for El
Velázquez de la
Salvador.
Selección del
Scored a
Salvador.
total that matches his jersey number, 11 goals for the striker. And not only that, not only winning this award, but also now stands alone on top of the mountain as the leading goal scorer all time in the history of this tournament. He came into the tournament trailing his teammate Agustin Ruiz by 6 goals.
El
He
siguiente
ends the
premio
tournament
individual
with a
es para el mejor
5-goal
jugador
lead.
del campeonato de Beach Soccer
56
Concacaf
all-time.
2021.
Second best is Ruiz
El
with
premio al
51.
mejor jugador es presentado por Scotiabank.
And the
Es
award
para
for the tournament's
Rubén
best
Batres
player,
de la Selección Nacional del Salvador.
Ruben Batres. He had 10 goals himself. Velasquez did really well, poaching a lot of goals for El Salvador, that goal scorer's instinct. But Batres Champions coming in. Rene Castro, the goalkeeper, gets his medal last. It's certainly a case of last but not least. He was the man of the match today for Guatemala in that third-place game. Their leading scorer of the tournament was their captain, Wilson Gonzalez, who ended the tournament with 7, the 33-year-old. A team that is a mix of young and old. Got about 6 or 7 guys at least who will factor in 2 years from now as they form that core group. And they've continued to get better with each edition of the tournament. We'll see what this does for their confidence, boosting them going forward, tasting the medal stand for the first time, and they won't be leaving Costa Rica empty-handed. They pose for a team photo with the medals, well earned for Guatemala. The Cinderella story of the tournament. Now always the interesting contrast. Big smiles for those getting the bronze, big smiles for those getting the gold, sullen faces for those getting silver. The only team getting a medal today that does so after a loss. Bittersweet, but still a great performance for the U.S. in the tournament. And they're not only getting silver medals, but they're also all getting tickets to Russia in August when the World Cup begins on August 19th in Moscow. Second consecutive World Cup the U.S. has qualified for, 6th overall. But for the second tournament in a row, they get silver. They lost 6-2 in the final against Mexico 2 years ago, and now 6-4 today against El Salvador.
Felicidades a los jugadores y entrenadores de la Selección Nacional de los Estados Unidos
Leading
por su
scorer for the
excelente
US
participación en el campeonato de beach
was
soccer
Silvera.
Concacaf 2021.
He ended up with 7 in the tournament, number 10 in the front row. Barberoff, the head coach, led the United States to a trophy back in 06 in Costa Rica as a player and the team MVP that time around. This time a runner-up appearance as the head coach. And now the victors, El Salvador, come out to get their medals and then their trophy. Agustin Ruiz for El Salvador did not play after the second group match. He entered this tournament as the all-time leading scorer. Unable to defend his crown against his own teammate, Frankie Velasquez, because of the injury. But the rest of his teammates able to come through and push El Salvador over the top. The help came from everywhere. All but one outfield player scored a goal. That one player was Melvin Gonzalez, and I don't mean to single him out as being the only non-scorer. I want to praise him because he was out there so often defensively for El Salvador. We talk about how many goals they've scored and how dominant they've been between Portillo and their lead defender, Gonzalez. They also were so stout defensively, never in a game allowing more than 4 goals. Incredible all-around El Salvador, offensively, defensively, the flair, the simplicity, the passing. They put on a clinic throughout this tournament, and they earned that silver plate. 3 times the runners-up, 3 times third place, and now 2 times the champions here in Concacaf. El Salvador raises the trophy. Your 2021 Concacaf Beach Soccer champions. Celebrate it and enjoy it here in Alajuela, Costa Rica. The captain Portillo, flanked by the Golden Ball winner and the Golden Boot winner, Ruben Batres and Frankie Velasquez. 3 silver plates raised in all, but the biggest one, the most important one, El Salvador again, champions of Concacaf, going to the World Cup for the 2nd time. You see the jersey there of Agustin Ruiz, the number 10 jersey of the man who began the tournament as their captain, Agustin Ruiz. All the players have signed it. They won this for him. He was injured in that 2nd group match, unable to be out there as a part of this celebration. But El Salvador will celebrate with him, I'm sure, at some point. Dominant throughout. Their path to the trophy began in the group stage with a 15-1 win over Dominican Republic. Then they beat Guatemala 7-1 and the Bahamas 7-2. The dominance continued into the knockout stage. El Salvador beat Trinidad and Tobago 9-2, Guatemala 6-2, and then here in the final, in the rain in Alajuela, 6-4 to earn that 2nd trophy. It's been a great month of May in CONCACAF. Started with the Futsal Championship, now here with the Beach Soccer Championship. And the summer of soccer will continue. Plenty more action in CONCACAF, namely the Gold Cup, starting in July, carrying into August. CONCACAF Nations League as well. Those finals are coming up at the beginning of June. After a lost year in 2020, more than making up for it with all the action this summer in 2021. And this latest bit of action punctuated with an El Salvadoran championship. We'll take one last look at the highlights from El Salvador's victory over the United States here in the title game, avenging the loss of the 2013 championship game, where the United States won 5-4 in extra time. Such a dominant showing from El Salvador, and such a young team. They're not going anywhere. We'll take a look at these highlights. The 3rd period started with a goal from Silvera, and that was it. That made it 6-4. That's the final score line. El Salvador and the United States traded barbs throughout the period, but El Salvador did what they did so well all tournament long, just locking in defensively, dominating the possession. I mentioned that they're not going anywhere. You run down the roster, 23 years old, 26, 31, 23, 26, 26, 30. Their oldest guy, Darwin Ramirez, at 35, then Batres at 29, Velasquez at 31 as the leading scorers, and the keeper, Eliodoro Portillo, 32. A young team that was so close in 2019, getting over the hump now, and with the youth that they have, 2 years from now in 2023, you might be looking at that same image as they hoist their head coach, Rudy Gonzalez, on their shoulders and lift the trophy in the 2021 CONCACAF Beach Soccer Championship. It's been a pleasure to be here with you all week. Signing off for the last time, I'm Joe Malfa. El Salvador, your champions here in 2021.